What's up, guys? My name is Mad Squash 924. Welcome back to another episode of Night Call Part 9, where we are a taxi driver that drives people around, as well as we are kind of a whistleblower for whatever the judge is. We're trying to find out what the judge is, who the judge will be, and then we're going to get them arrested. Now, I was considering if we should pick any of these individuals up since we are so close to them. But since the night is pretty much over, I think we just go and try to get more evidence at this point. I think that's the right call. It'd probably be smarter, fuel-wise, to pick somebody up, though. But we'll have to eventually go back to this part of town anyways to go home, so... whatever. It's fine. We only have to discover 2 of these places left, and then we're done. The police archives look like any other building in Paris. No sign, nothing to make it stand out. But this is where all the case files and criminal records are stored. You know the place well. For several months you spent a lot of time with the woman who directs it. She was a regular passenger, calling upon you almost every night. First as a driver, and then... You can see her shape from across the street. You tried to prevent your brain from going there, but it has a mind of its own. She's as beautiful as ever. You get out of the cab. You cross over to the sidewalk on the other side. I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised by your request. She lights a cigarette. She still has that cold, distant look about her. But, you know, it's just a facade. You don't smoke anymore? No, I'm trying to quit. She has trouble articulating with the cigarettes in her mouth. Good luck with that. I just can't imagine. She runs a hand through her hair. Her wedding band shines under the street lamp. You're freezing. Listen, I'm sure you know I'm not allowed to give you this kind of information. But if you said it was true, then you get the impression she's reaching for your side. You have any information for me? Yes. Sorry. Oh. Of course. I finished the round and the first 3 victims were not part of the data leak. Shit. Shit indeed. That means the information about Besson, Bougron, and the Argentinian one. Gorodisha. Yes, that's it. Gorodisha. It all came from someone who had access to their criminal records. That help? You attempt to smile. Yeah, it's better than nothing. A moment of silence. Helene takes a drag of her cigarette, like there's no tomorrow. She paces a bit to warm herself up. You should come over sometime. What do you think? You grin. You and Helene used to sleep together when things with her husband weren't so good. Yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea. She turns her head away in a soft, graceful motion. Of course, I don't know why She looks deep into your eyes. You look down. Her hands are shaking. One last smile, and she puts her cigarette out. I've got to run. Thank you. You're welcome. It's the least I can do. She reaches out to you affectionately, then stops. You decide to cross the street to put some distance between you as quickly as possible. You get in your cab and rub your hands together. Time to get back to your shift. So we got some more information, which is good. And it looks like we're forced to go home. We're out of time. So I think we made some profit. Apparently not. We're still in the red, which is not good. You take a few minutes to update your board with your new clues. You're suddenly overcome with a desire to sleep. You close your eyes, press your fingers to your eyelids, and let out a yawn. You crack your knuckles and get to work. Okay. So do we have any files down here? We do not, which is fine. And we can start moving some of these around again. So this is only for you. Killer had wrinkles on their hands. That's interesting. So far it points to Pa Mary Fragonard then. Very interesting. This is for everybody, which is why it's down here. Again, for pretty much everyone, which is why it's down here. This is only for these two, so we put it like right down here. We put this over here. Let's just try moving all these like out of the way. Spent bullet case. Interesting. Killer height. Okay, and then these ones all down below are affiliated with all of them. And then these are affiliated with these two. It's on the night. So far, it's looking more like Paul, more and more. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You slide onto the open sofa bed. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed, your body aches, and you are in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. You wish you were far away from here. Far, far away from here. You shake your head, and your mind wanders for a second. And a question comes to mind. A very odd one. So odd, you need to say it out loud to be sure you're not dreaming. Was that really Santa Claus? You lie there for a moment, listening to the echo of your own voice resonating around your studio apartment. The silence lulls you. Your eyes close, and you feel yourself drifting off. Until you hear a voice break out in the distance. Look, he's kicking the bucket. And then, silence. You close your eyes without any idea where the voice is coming from. A second later, you're asleep. You open one eye. You slept badly. Sometimes you're so tired, you can't seem to get any rest. You'd like to understand how that's even possible. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio, as night 6 begins. Good. Let's see, do we have any suspects that we should pick up immediately? So far, it is looking like a no. That's fine. We have one of these left, and then we need to make cash. Like a lot of money fast. Like, we gotta find people we think will have a lot of money on them. Like, the guy that won the lottery has a ton of money. You leave your taxi behind and walk towards the last victim's building. Charles Bougrain Ferra was killed in his parking garage. The large metal garage door is firmly closed. You look for another entrance. You walk around to the back of the building and look at the various entrances. The main one, the garage door, and a maintenance door for the trash cans. We go through the maintenance entrance. You've barely taken a step when a voice calls out to you. "Hey, what are you doing here? This is private property." You turn around and see a rather elderly man, probably the concierge. He shines his flashlight in your direction. I'm lost." "Lost? You think I'm a fucking idiot? Go! Get out of here or I'm calling the cops." You leave the lobby. The concierge follows you and checks to make sure the door is firmly shut behind you. "If I see you lurking around here again, I'm calling the cops." You make your way back to your cab. You glance back at the building. The furious concierge is gone. The cell and behind the wheel, short of breath. "Well, that was a waste of time. Shit. That sucks. Well, time to get more customers." Let's see. Who do we pick up? Let's pick you up. You're the closest one. You recall that Balzac was born in this street, or was it Zola? Or maybe Victor Hugo? This guy's name is Sean Christie, and he wants to go home. The passenger getting into your cab is clearly upset. He gives you an address near the Pantheon. You know the address, a residence for foreign students. You often drive American and Chinese students there. You start the cab. The passenger in the back seat is furious about something. "Excuse me." He has a very thick American accent. You look up. "Can I ask you something?" You nod. "How do the police usually treat black people in your country? I mean, in general. What is their behavior like?" He isn't very sure in his pronunciation. "I mean, I'd say the police have a problem with black people." You reveal your teeth as you continue speaking. "And Arabs. And anyone wearing a hoodie." "A hoodie?" "Yeah, wearing sweats. And if you dress like someone from the poor neighborhoods, they give you a hard time." "What does Rasael mean?" It's a new word to him. You shake your head. Well, it's a word with sort of negative connotations. "Negative?" "Yeah, definitely." He gives you a little smile. "Now I get it. They thought I was lowlife. Racial. Even with your accent?" "Well, they didn't seem to understand me very well, or maybe they thought I was making fun of them." He sighs. You give him a second to catch his breath. His anger seems to be letting up. "So, where are you from?" He seems surprised by your question. "Chicago, the States." "What's it like there?" "It's really beautiful, especially the architecture." A glance out the window. He's quiet for a moment. "It's not Paris, it's not France, but I miss it. I miss it so much." A pause. "Look, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have jumped on you with that question like that." Don't worry about it. This afternoon after school I got mugged in the metro by some guy." His voice drops to a whisper. "He was, same age as me. He stole my money and phone." He raises his voice a little. "Luckily, I still have my credit card and my papers." I went straight to the police station and I was there for 8 hours. I'm tired, upset, about ready to quit. He raises his voice even more. I like France, but it's just as hard here as it is at home. People look down on you because they don't like the look of you. That's the right expression, isn't it? You nod yes. They say France is the land of freedom, of human rights. But you have to behave a certain way here too. The right way. He screws up his eyes. I like to be judged objectively. But I guess there's no such thing as objectiveness. He settles back into his seat. What were you studying? Excuse me? A minute ago you said you were leaving school when you were mugged. What were you studying? I'm studying to be a mime. A pause. Go ahead, say it. I didn't say anything. No, but go ahead, I'm used to it. I'm not going to make fun of it or anything, I just didn't know mime schools existed. He gives you a big smile. Imagine when I moved to France to study it. My American friends are still having a good laugh. What exactly are you learning to do? Acting techniques, stage production, makeup. Anything related to the art of mime, really. There aren't any mime schools in the US? Your passenger gives a little laugh. No. That's why I don't want to leave. But it's the only thing keeping me in France. You sigh. France is not for everyone. What do you mean? I mean, the French usually stand up for their country. They're worse than Americans. The country is, it's like a romantic relationship. You can't fall in love with everybody. We have our likes, our dislikes, then we fall under the spell again. He's watching you. Are all cab drivers philosophers like you? You flash a smile. I don't think so. The passenger gives a little laugh, and then his eyes glaze over with an expressionless, perhaps even sad look. Thanks, man. It was good to talk to you. He slipped into the informal tu form, no doubt by accident. I have a hard time controlling my anger sometimes, that's why I had trouble with the police today. How so? Well, to start, they made me sit in a room for hours with a woman who was clearly a prostitute. They didn't want to take my statement. They didn't want me to file a complaint. I had to insist. They made fun of my studies, but I'm used to that. A small smile appears at the corner of his mouth. And then, when I started to get a little mad, when I mentioned the American embassy, they said if I wasn't happy here, I should go home. Certain innuendos were a little... when I got out, there was no more metros, so here I am telling my life story to a philosopher cabbie. He gives you a smile. Cops, they're I mean, it's complicated here. Do they treat you badly too? You smile and shake your head. No need for him to know. Suddenly, the Pantheon appears among the dark buildings. Its white dome breaks up the dull orange and brown tones of the Parisian night sky. Your passenger breathes a little sigh of satisfaction. It's beautiful, isn't it? No doubt about it. You park in front of the residence where the young man lives. He pays the fare and stretches his hand towards you. Thanks again. Meeting you was just what I needed. You shake his hand. He has a strong, confident grip. You know, you should film your rounds at night and make a great series. You answer with a smile. He opens the door, gives you a big smile, then disappears. You hold your arm close to your sides for a moment. You catch your breath, trying to control the anxiety welling up inside. The mere mention of police, and you start the cab. Got some money? Need money? Hello, what do we have here? Look at this. Oh, we also have a suspect. Oh, okay. So, okay. I thought we could go back. Technically, we probably could go back. No, we can't. Okay. So let's talk to this one. I can't even see who the suspect is, but it's one of the suspects. So clearly we should go and have a chat with them, since we're close by. Oh, it's Hervé. Well, he's not really a suspect, but we get information out of him. The door opens. It's Hervé. He greets you with his bizarre verbal tick as usual. How's it going? Hi, Hervé. You start the engine. You look in the rearview mirror, and you realize that the homeless man is clutching his left side. Well, all right, already. Ready? Is everything all right? He gives you a vague answer. Yeah, sure. Fine. A pause. He can't help making a face. You're really not looking that great. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got in a little fight last night with this guy. But that's all taken care of now. All taken care of. He smiles, revealing a row of bad teeth. You don't want to see a doctor? Your passenger straightens up immediately. No way. I'm never setting foot in that hospital again. Either they don't want to treat you because you stink, but that's at least I get. Or they pack you off to a social worker. His mouth twists into a funny pucker as if he were about to spit. They mean well and all, but I just want to be left alone. I don't want to be put in some crummy apartment out in the middle of nowhere. If you leave the street, you lose your spot. It's that simple. His mouth stays open for a moment. You know, there are guys who tell you they choose the street and all that, but as for me, that's not the case, Ace. That doesn't mean I want to be saved. I'm not one of those kids, you know, the ones on TV in the 80s, you know what I mean? You pretend to understand. Make a donation, they need your money. Well, I'm not asking for anything, I live my own life. Yes, I do too. Ooh. He stares blankly. Sometime later, your passenger clears his throat. You wouldn't happen to have a little something to drink, would you? You know, like they do in those old fangled cabs in these days. Chauffeur-driven cars. Yeah, that's right. I don't have anything, sorry. He nods. I don't mean water, you know. You smile. I realize that. He sighs. Usually, you're not such a pain. I'm just worried. He opens his mouth to say something, then stops short. Yeah, I know, man. Sorry. He gives you a black look. questions. You know, I've got those morning, noon, and night. I'm sick and tired of them. He loses himself in thought. As you drive along, you see him struggling to keep his eyes open. They are more often shut than open now. Your passenger head jerks back up. You're a really good guy, you know? Oh. Your passenger gives you a sleepy smile. Hey. Serious, you don't mind if I get a little shut-eye on the way, do ya? You nod. Enjoy. He gives you a smile, but it's still a painful grimace. Next thing you know, he's sound asleep. You continue to drive in silence, soothed by the warm air of the car heater. You pull up in front of a nondescript gray building. Your passenger immediately wakes up and looks around. Shit, this is great. I'm first. Where are we? An organization that hands out clothes for winter. I heard they were going to open a new, A pause. He's searching for the right word. New shop, you could say. And I'm the first one. When does it open? 2 days from now. Your eyes widen. Your passenger gives a little laugh. Don't worry, I have plenty to keep me busy. He pats his pants pocket. I found some books. One on yoga, and then a book by the old handsome dude. You know the guy who talks on the radio? It will help pass the time. He gives you a tap on the shoulder. He reaches for the door and stops short, overcome with a spasm of pain. Fuck. Are you okay? Yeah, don't worry. Well, take care. Shouldn't worry like that. I make do. He gives you a funny smile, a little forced, like you both know it's a big lie. He opens the door and climbs gingerly out. And thanks for turning up the heat. That was nice. Next thing you know, he disappeared down a dark side street. You sigh and start the cab. No money. Holy shit, we're over halfway done with this day already. He's wasted so much of our time. But I do think this is a good spot for us to end today's episode of Night's Call. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you guys have, make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment. Tell me what you think of today's episode, of course. And if you're new to my channel or have been watching me for a while and you haven't done so and you like what you see, feel free to subscribe to me, MattSquash924, and don't forget to ring the bell so you can get notified for when a new episode comes out. Now in the next episode, we need to make some money. We gotta pick up some passengers and make the money. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.